I'm such a huge fan of like using questions. So instead of saying like noticing where you're resourced, I like to say, where am I resourced? Because a question opens up energy. A question creates expansion. And sometimes I might even see something that I wouldn't have seen before. So I love like the expansiveness in a question. And then where I use like definitive statements, it's in this like, I called it the stacking club because I'm like, I'm just stacking wins over here. I'm just going to stack my wins. But yeah, it can be a go, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
Go me club. But I actually, what I did for this was I created this culture on my team as well. I had a small team of, I think, like 3 people at that time. And what we started doing was once a month, we would share with each other all of our stacking wins. And so each person was like, wow, we bought our first family car this week, or I was able to invest this for my son or my daughter, or it was personal wins and professional wins. And I'm so micro about this. Like everything can be a win for me. I'm like, wow, I made my bed today.
Yeah.
Like that's a win for me. Just anything in my it's interesting because the more that I started practicing it, the longer the list got. So when I started scrolling back through this one note, January was like this long, February was a little bit longer, March was much longer, and every single month the because the muscle started getting so strong and my mind started understanding the reward in it, I was just giving myself this like burst of energetic reward every time I did it. And the list just kept getting longer and longer and longer. By the end of the year, I'm like, I am a motherfucking badass.
I would think that's a great act of self-love too. It's like just to learn to appreciate yourself and to be able to just say, I'm actually good at this. Because especially and I don't know if you feel that, but I feel that sometimes in our world, the world that we play in as coaches or as consultants or as trainers, teachers, however you want to call it, influencers, even if I have to broaden the category, you're just living in constant doubt because at least it feels like you're in constant doubt. I feel like I'm in constant doubt. Like, is this anything? Is this good? Is this just me thinking that I am, in this bubble where I think I'm doing good stuff, but it's not really. It doesn't. And sometimes somebody would say something like, "You're an idiot," and you're like, "Wow, maybe I am."
Thank you.
Thank you for saying that. So sometimes you need that Go Me Club, I feel like, or the Stackings Club, or however you want to call it, where we could appreciate the little wins. We can go, okay, you know what? It's okay. I got up. I got ready. I went to the podcast. I recorded it. I posted it. It's okay if nobody watched it, but at least I did what I said I'm going to do. And at least I supported me, if nothing else.
When we're building something and it doesn't have the momentum that not everyone gets to experience, like the hardest part of that is maintaining your belief and energy in it the whole way through. And that's what I was looking to cause for myself is I had hit kind of a cap as far as like where I had been able to take my business previously. And once I implemented this one piece, I was just completely blown away. And the other thing that I really appreciate about these lists is that the smallest part of each list had to do with financial wins, but yet the financial wins were automatic anyway, because I wasn't deterred when I talked about this. I have a private podcast feed that I just like riff on all the time. And I was like, what's your relationship with disappointment? Because mine used to be really bad. And for me, it was more in my personal life. I'm realizing I'm starting to date again, and I'm learning about my belief systems about men. And one of them was like, I believe men disappoint me and whatnot. And I'm like, wow, I think everyone has a really shit relationship with disappointment and what it means about us. And I was like, what if we could reframe the concept of disappointment and turn the efforting into the win, the process into the win, and grab that reward and that gratification and use that to keep going so that we don't pause long enough to let the self-doubt create a time. Sometimes people have a very long time lapse with self-doubt.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And one more thing, I don't think it ever goes away. So you need to, not just I don't think, I've actually spoken to a lot of people that I would think were wildly successful from my perspective. And people ask me from my context and container, and I still self-doubt. It's not something that goes away. The thing that can happen for all of us, or what I believe we must aspire to, is to work on tools like Go Me Club, like stacking, like saying, all right, this is going to happen. It's not going to go away. For that matter, if it goes away, have you crossed the line of confidence and narcissism? Because it's a fine line, or it can be a fine line, maybe more narcissism.
This is the area where I'm like, be narcissistic.
So the point really is to say it's okay to have that self-doubt, from my perspective, from my point of view, or to expect that it'll not go away. I think it's human to doubt, and there is no point becoming AI. You are human, and there is appreciation in that, and that doubt keeps you on your toes.